Cataclysm. Yes! Oh my god! It sucks! Come on! What's up, guys? Iceman here. Welcome to the Diablo Research Institution. I am your host, Professor Ice Stack. Appreciate you guys for coming by. Like the video if you will, hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the page and hit the bell so you're notified next time I post a video. And blessings to my channel members and my patrons. May you have many wives. Links in the description below. So welcome to Diablo 4. What do you guys think about it so far? Do you think the game is complete ass? Or are you having a pretty good time? Huh? So, my droid goes by the name of Mr. Thicket. He's level 26. And I've just been sticking around Act 1. I don't even remember how to get to Act 2. I did play the beta. I think I killed the Act 1 boss. I don't know. I'm just going around killing shit, making the screen explode and all that. So I haven't really spent too much time listening to all the blabble. There's so much blabble. I just skip it. I skip the cutscenes. I skip the chatter. It just doesn't really interest me too much. What I want to do is kill shit. And it's been a pretty good time. I wanted to try a storm droid ever since I saw one of the early trailers of Diablo 4, where the droid casts his Cataclysm skill. Let's check it out. Here it goes. So, here's the tooltip of it. It's an ultimate skill. Storm, nature magic, all are important things as you progress in finding gear and doing your Paragon leveling and all that shit, because you want to find stuff, of course, that boosts storm and ultimate skills if you want to help this skill out. But it has a pretty damn long cooldown, which of course can be reduced with gear and other things. A massive storm follows you for 10.5 seconds is its current iteration with my gear. I think initially it was 8 seconds, so I've buffed it up some. Twisters knock back enemies, and lightning strikes wildly, dealing 222 damage. And then I have a modifier. Lightning strikes from Cataclysm make enemies vulnerable for 2 seconds. And there are a few other things you can do with it. One of which is Cataclysm's duration is increased by 2 seconds, and then I have this thing. But there's a lot of little nodes and shit that allow you to modify Cataclysm and Hurricane, and I'm almost to this, which is the... I don't really know what you call this. It's the last tier of your skill tree. And this, of course, isn't the Paragon, so I think the Paragon's going to be more vast, but this is just the skill tree. And I'm looking forward to Perfect Storm, because the thing with the droid is it's kind of ass when it comes to spirit generation. Especially for the Storm Druid, to my understanding, because everything is centered around your spirit, and it doesn't regenerate on its own. So you have to regenerate it by using basic skills, I think is what they are, and through other means. One of which is this, where this is a modifier that makes your storm skills that you cast grant 1 spirit and deal 15% increased damage when damaging a vulnerable, immobilized, or slowed enemy. So I'm really looking forward to getting this. And I'm guessing with endgame, maybe we can make that 2 spirit or 3 spirit. I don't know how often this actually procs, but to my understanding, lucky hit chance is what helps increase the probability of that coefficient or whatever. So lucky hit chance on gear is something to be desired, I think, with this build. But here's what it looks like. It looks pretty cool. Check it out. It doesn't last that long. It's quite random. These things, I don't think they seek enemies. Oh my god, that's actually longer than I expected. So, I assume with later in the game, we can make it last longer. And if that's the case, I'm going to keep pressing with this droid. I was kind of tempted to go back and just make a necromancer because that's what I made on the first beta, and it obliterated everything. It was very easy. I know that they did nerf the skeleton warriors a little bit, where they die more frequently, and that was enough to make me not want to play the necromancer, because I didn't want to have to just continually summon skeletons. That didn't sound very fun. So I decided to go the route of the druid, because I wanted to try the summons. But of course, the summons for the druid so far really suck. Big you-know-what. Their active function is okay, but their passive function, where they just follow you around and hit things, is just really, really bad. So I'm not sure if maybe later in the game we can find things that enhance them more. I'm willing to find out. But in the meantime, I went with what I initially wanted to try, which was a storm druid, or a lightning druid, or whatever you call it. And here's Hurricane. That has a cooldown. Mine lasts a little longer because I modified it. It's quite nice, and I also have Cyclone Armor. That's not bad, so I only have 10 seconds left and I can cast it again. And it forms a hurricane around you that deals 404 damage to surrounding enemies over 8 seconds. Then I modified it. Enemies who are damaged by hurricane are slowed by 25% for 2 seconds. And enemies affected by hurricane deal 20% less damage. And I also use Cyclone Armor, a Diablo 2 skill, and that is it has a passive effect, and you can see it swirling around him. And the passive effect is a powerful winds surround you, granting 10% non-physical damage reduction, so elemental and all that. And then, with an active effect that has a cooldown, the winds rapidly expand, knocking back enemies and dealing 124 damage. And here's the active effect. So it knocks them all back, which I don't think is a good synergy with some of my skills, because I do have an up-close and personal skill that helps me generate spirits. Then I have to chase them down after knocking them back. I might try something like Wind Shear. But here's Hurricane. It's acceptable. Could be better. And here's Cyclone Armor. Knocks them back. And here's my main skill that I'll show you guys. When I first saw this skill, I thought it really sucked. But it's a channeling skill. So here's what you do. You hold the right click. And the longer you hold it, the more lightning bolts come down from the sky. It's called Storm Strike. No. It's called Lightning Storm. Now, I'm still getting used to this shit. I haven't really delved too much in to these skills, but I'm just experimenting here, and I'm trying all these storm skills. So Lightning Storm costs 15 spirit per strike, and with some modifiers, I have a total of 116 spirit, so not a lot. Conjure a growing lightning storm that deals 138 damage per strike. The number of strikes increase the longer the storm is channeled, up to a maximum of 6 at once, and that's with a modifier. And here's what's really interesting. The size of your lightning storm is preserved for 4 seconds after channeling. So you can start regenerating more spirit by hitting shit, and then cast it again, because there's a little cooldown right here. You'll see it when I cast it, that little green bar. And as long as you don't let it go all the way down without casting it again, it'll keep the lightning storm large. And here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Oh my god! Fuck! Damn! Dumbass! I wanted to show you. Okay, I'm just getting my little tail swatted. So here's where I am right now in the game. I have a lot of things that I have to accomplish still. I think I'm going to shield my eyes from content from other creators, because I don't really want to see the new axe without experiencing them myself. So I'm kind of thinking I'm not going to watch much content. I'm just going to take it slow. I'm going to go through the acts. I think there are 4 acts. And just experience it, you know, without seeing it somewhere else first. So really my builds might kind of suck. Although I might still look up some guides on what are some of the builds relevant for my level. Non-video guides, because I don't want to have, as mentioned, the visuals and the acts spoiled. So I might do that a little bit, but I don't really intend to watch like Act 2, Act 3, Act 4, the Diablo fight, whatever that looks like. Maybe he's a world boss, I'm not sure. But, so I'm going to take this shit nice and slow. Alright. I'm going to get it nice and ready to go. I'm going to take it nice and easy. And that's just how it's going to go on this channel, alright? I'm thinking that's the route I'm going to take. For now. Gonna take that shit nice and slow. Get that shit nice and wet. And I only found 1 legendary so far. It's called the Shepherd's Marauder Axe. And it's a basic one-handed axe. And unfortunately, it has a modifier that is relevant to having companions out. And as mentioned, the companions really suck dick in terms of their passive effects. So I'm thinking I'm not going to do that. But after finding this item, I might try a werebear build that I'm just going to come up with on my own and have all the summons available so I can increase my damage by 6, 12, 18, 19.5%, which is probably quite significant. So I'm thinking about trying that and comparing it to this build. And we'll see. I'll show you some just basic gameplay. So I run around. I try to get my spirit up. Oh, and here's a boss. I'll cast Cataclysm. I'll cast my Bulwark Shield. That all has a cooldown. I'll cast Cyclone Armor. Holding the right click. You see that? Now it has a pretty large lightning storm. Yeah, dodging is really important in this game. You'll see a lot of enemies that charge up to hit you like this, and that's important to dodge. And also using your shields at the right time, which is what I failed to do right there. I wasted it. Get out of the way. But I'm starting to get the hang of this build. Oh, is that an upgrade? It is an upgrade. A totem. I was using a two-hander for quite a while, but then I gambled for this unique with those shards that you find. I can't recall what the name of the shards is, but you find some shards that you can gamble with. So yeah, this is what the gameplay looks like. Just against basic enemies, maybe some elites. But there's a lot to do to stay active. It incentivizes you to use just your normal attack, which is this. It's called Storm Strike. Electrify, or electricity gathers around your weapon, dealing 89 damage to your target and chaining up to 5 surrounding enemies, dealing 20% less damage each time it chains. You gain 25% damage reduction for 3 seconds after dealing damage with Storm Strike. Storm Strike has a 15% chance to immobilize all enemies hit for 2.5 seconds, and Storm Strike chains to 2 additional targets. So immobilizing enemies can be very important because there are attributes on your gear that you can get that'll add damage against immobilized enemies and things like that. So there's a lot of little intricate things to look out for. Here's the Cataclysm skill again. Let's see what that can do on its own. It's a bit lackluster. Look at this. It's about to run out. It couldn't even kill these guys. It misses a lot. It has a very long cooldown. I think generally what I've been seeing on the internet. This Grizzly Rage. And I haven't been looking much because I'm trying to refrain. But I did see a couple of videos come up in my feed, and I watched one of them, about the Grizzly Rage ultimate skill. You can only choose one ultimate skill, and I decided to try the Cataclysm. They all have cooldowns, I think. Yeah, they all have cooldowns. This one has the longest cooldown, and it misses a lot. So I might want to try this Grizzly Rage, and I will if I try that Grizzly/Summon build, which would be relevant because I have this axe, of course, now that I found, that incentivizes you to have your summons out. So I might try that. It does have a lower cooldown. Shapeshift into a dire werebear for 10 seconds, gaining 20% bonus damage and 20% damage reduction. Damage bonus is increased by 3% each second while in this form. Kills extend the duration by 1 second, up to 10 additional seconds. So you can have it up for about 20 seconds. And there's even a boon you can get, which you can unlock as a druid, I think level 15 or something, where you collect these little things that fall in dungeons and from enemies. I think they can fall from regular enemies. And then you go to some town way out, like north or something. It's way up here. It's this place. It's in this area. This little area right here. Oh. Oh, that's interesting. I'm not sure what this is. A Legion event? Yeah, I don't even know what that is. I might go check that out. But in fact, yeah, maybe I will go check that out. I don't know what that is. I'm going to put my marker on it and teleport here. I suppose I'll just skip this. I'll skip this dungeon. So I'll teleport to this waypoint, and I'll walk to that area, and we'll see what that's all about if I can make it in time. I don't know what that is. But yeah, that Grizzly Rage thing might be something I'm going to try. So stay tuned for my next video, and I will use this a little bit before making the video, and I'll see kind of how it compares to my current build. Because I think Grizzly Rage really is all the rage when it comes to droid builds right now. Just from what I've seen. So I'm going to walk over there, I'm going to pause the video, and we'll see what this event is all about. So I'm getting chased by a bunch of enemies. I do have this skill that casts a lightning bolt. It's a passive skill. And it breaks shit, as you can see. It's like striking stuff when I walk by it. And when it just strikes junk, it strikes all the time. But it'll only strike an enemy once every 18 seconds, and that can be modified. I'm not sure how often you can make it strike. It's kind of like Thunderstorm from Diablo 2. So I was really pleased to see that. Oh, there's a dungeon. Suppose I'll stay on the mission. Oh! It's good. Found some of that boon stuff. I got pulverized from that. Yeah, the rare gear and all that can give random skills. Ones that you haven't learned even so that's kind of nice. "31 seconds left, so I just made it." The hell? Okay. And there are other players here. The Gathering Legions is what this is called. The servants of hell call to their overlord, okay? This must be a world event? Similar to, like, a boss? But we'll see what it's like. Bunch of randos here. You can just team up with them while out in the open world. Use that Cataclysm. Oh! Alright, leveled up. And I can't quite reach this perfect storm yet. I think that's really going to help because the biggest annoyance is your spirit regeneration, as mentioned. So I'm thinking, my guess is an endgame Storm Druid will have a lot of spirit regeneration and will be casting like this whole channeling this skill a lot and casting Cataclysm more frequently. Probably not all the time, but more frequently. What's interesting is these ultimate skills, they're not like a crazy amount of damage. Like we saw that Grizzly Rage, it gives you 20% more damage, right? So we're not talking huge numbers here, which I think is a good thing because in Diablo 3, with your ultimate skills or things that were similar with the massive cooldowns, that would pretty much be your screen clearer, and you'd basically just do whatever you can to keep cooling it down and then use it as your main source of damage, and pretty much it all revolved around that nuke skill. So I think it's a good thing that these aren't like crazy powerful, but it does help, and so I'm curious to see how this plays out in game, you know? And so far the numbers are looking good in terms of the boost that the ultimate skills seem to give you. And in terms of Cataclysm, it's not a percentage of damage added, it's actual damage, right? 230 damage, yeah, so just base damage that you can modify, which is a great thing as well, because that's like Diablo 2 and the skills in Diablo 2, where it's not just all your weapon damage and that's it, or just multiplying your weapon damage. It's something more than just that, you know. It has base numbers that you're dealing with that you can modify through gear, I'm guessing, and Paragon, and leveling up the skill itself. But I think when I first tried Cataclysm, I was a bit disappointed because it really felt like ass. I thought it was going to be some epic skill that just kills shit all over the place, destroys elites, and you just do whatever you can to be able to use it again, and you basically center your build around it. But looking at it now, yeah, I think it's a good thing the way that it is, because it's almost it's not like it's not 100% essential to clear dungeons and stuff. It just helps you kill shit a little faster, and it's a pretty cool effect. I just used it again right there, so it is casting now. And maybe there are modifiers that make the Twisters seek enemies. I know there was something like that in the beta, I think, with the tornadoes that you would cast anyway. So maybe you can get modifiers on gear or through Paragon that Cataclysm will actually seek out enemies, because right now it's kind of random. I'm not sure if that's the case, if it's going to go that route. Maybe they don't want it to go that route. Maybe they want it to more just to be chaos. But yeah, I am looking forward to seeing how all this stuff progresses. And I'm in a good spot now because I'm almost a couple more levels and I could get this, and I think that's really going to help with my spirit regeneration. Because all my offensive skills are storm skills, so they're all going to have a chance to regenerate one spirit. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but I only have 116 in total, and you do a lot of hits with some of the skills, so I'm thinking it's really going to help. And I assume even the Cataclysm in itself is going to have the potential to regenerate spirit. So this event is quite played out. Slay enemies to provoke the servants of hell, is what it says. Okay. Maybe I'll find a legendary, and yeah, I found one legendary, and it was through the gambling, as mentioned, and I'm level 27, so I'm kind of liking those numbers, the rarity of them. It's gonna be a real exciting thing, I imagine, to find a unique. I'm not sure how they look when they drop compared to a legendary. The legendary, to my understanding, is kind of like how they were in Diablo 3, where it's just a little star on the map with a little, like, a bronze beam coming from the sky onto the item, just to locate it. There's gonna be something like that. But yeah, the rarity of drops so far has been great, and you're not flooded with a bunch of trash legendaries like Diablo 3. So I'm hoping that it stays that way. Jeez, what an event! There's a lot of events like this where you have to go and slay the totems or whatever that are chained to the bad guy. Because the bad guy is invulnerable when this shit's chained to him, and you can tell that because his life is grayed out like that. So you have to kill this shit, and I think these things tend to regenerate even. Oh, there's that wizard spell, the snake. I was almost tempted to make a wizard or a necromancer before I started with the druid, because I knew this was going to be a spiritual journey with the druid. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but I'm not minding it so much. It's been okay overall. And if I were to try like the shape-shifting builds and all that, I think it would probably be a little bit more fluent. It might not be quite as spirit intensive. I don't know, but I'd like to try it out and find out. Oh my god! This is a big-ass boss, in fact. Harza Abomination. This is actually a big-ass boss. I didn't expect that. That's fine. I don't think this is a world boss, right? Is this a world boss? No, it's not a world. No, the world boss, it zooms way out and it's humongous. The shit doesn't fit in the screen and all that, so I don't think this is a world boss. But this video is pretty long, so I'm going to pause it, and I'll play it again when this boss is almost dead, so it's not really much of a problem. Alright, it's about to die. Okay, 3 chat. Oh, goodness! Oh, this is good! Oh, and 20 of those orb things. Jeez! Alright, so I have a thing. I have another thing right here. Edge Master's Choker. Bit of an innuendo there. 1 rank to all Wrath skills? Oh, shit. What the hell is Wrath? Is this even for a droid? Skills deal up to 20% increased damage based on your available primary resource when cast, okay? Receiving the maximum benefit while you have full primary resource. Jeez, so I could fill up my resource and then cast a Cataclysm. 1 rank to all defensive skills. I think, do I have defensive skills? Oh, it is the droid. Oh, shit. So there's the defensive, and there's the Wrath. Okay. Oh, and a Wrath skill is actually Hurricane. Holy shit. And a defensive is these 2 skills that I use. See, right now they're both level 1. I'll pop this shit on. Yeah, that's gonna be quite nice. So now that's level 2. And these are level 2, and I have a skill point to spend, so... Oh, alright, so my second... Yeah, the second legendary, I believe. Appreciate you guys. Let me know what your thoughts are on Diablo 4 so far. Like the video if you will, subscribe to the page, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace be with you.